Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffee's James. I'm James, and this is my Morning Coffee Show. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing swell, because today we're going to be talking about the Barbie movie. Before we go into the Barbie movie, I want to tell you a story about a movie I like to call High Noon. It's an older movie. It came out in the 50s, and it was basically about a sheriff who is retiring, who is worried about this outlaw by the name of Frank Miller, same name as the comic book writer, but different, coming back to town and gonna cause havoc. And he stays and tries to stop Frank Miller from causing problems and stuff like that. He's asking everybody for help, but they're turning their nose up at him, and everybody's telling him, just leave town and retire, blah, 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 blah. So how the movie ends is he basically wins in the end, kills the bad guys, and that's it. And originally that story was about communism, about the lone commie, accused commie dealing with Joe McCarthy in the House of Un-American Activities. However, it got skewed. It changed. People saw it as a different thing instead of what the initial thing was. People now saw it as a pro-American, the individual taking on the collective story, about one man taking on evil forces by himself. And they also made a movie called El Dorado. That was basically the response to that movie, starring John Wayne and James Caan, I think, and the singer Dean Martin. Same premise, but totally different and altogether and pro-American. It has John Wayne in it. So anyway, the Barbie movie is falling into the same kind of thing that happened to that movie. And so basically, if you didn't know the story of Barbie, Barbie is having an existential crisis and has to go to the real world to figure out what the heck is going on. Ken comes along, and they discover the real world, which I'm so tired of that trope, that cliche. Now they're coming to the real world. No, don't come to our fucking boring-ass world. I want to go to your fantasy world. I want to explore your world. It's like every movie does this, and I hate it so goddamn much. Can we not do and now they're entering the real world? You mean the movie version world of the real world, where people are just overly exaggerated jerks? Now they're coming to the so-called real world, another version of the real world, our modern time. Just say that. Just say that. Because if it was the real world, it would be like, oh, well, there's magic elves and shit. Holy shit. Apparently, we have magic portals and shit, and our world is connected like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But, where was I going on with this? Oh, yeah. So anyway, Barbie discovers that being a woman is hard. Ken discovers masculinity, the patriarchy, which honestly is weird, and what it means to be a man. And then takes that and goes back to Barbie Land and reestablishes order, because in Barbie Land it's a matriarchy where the women run the show and men are treated like sperm donors. I don't know. That's how it sounds to me. It's a matriarchy, so what do you expect they do? And the men are treated like dogs. The thing that kind of makes me laugh about this, though, is that Ken is now looked upon as a hero. So our villain in the movie is now a hero, and our hero in the movie is a villain, because Ken is bringing order and balance bringing gender equality to Barbie Land. I know people out there going, no, well, it's not just me. People are discussing it differently. People are talking about Ken being the hero, and we have another Ryan Gosling, he's literally me meme, which, honestly, there's so many other characters out there you could say is literally me. When can we not relate to characters anymore, or find them, likable, or find something that we kind of, see in ourselves? For fuck's sakes. It's the Saints Row argument all over again. I can't relate to a bunch of gangsters. Well, I can't relate to a bunch of 20-year-olds robbing a bank to pay off student loans when they can easily pay that off. When they rob, hey, if you're robbing a loan shark and there's more money in there, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It makes sense to be a gangster. Like Saints, I'll get into the Saints Row argument. I want to make a video about that. I promised myself I'm going to write out a video about why Saints Row. Yeah, I know that everybody else has talked about how great Saints Row 2 is better than the fucking remake, but I can explain to you why the story is better and why it tells that story better than Saints Row 1. But I'm not going to get into that. I want to talk about Barbie, and I want to talk about this goddamn phenomenon of messaging getting skewed. And it goes in fact, it goes into the other things too. You miss the point of idolizing me. That you miss the point of idolizing certain characters like Walter White, the Joker, Rick Sanchez, Project Mayhem, dude, Tyler Durden. Or particularly Travis Bickle. I think people are really confused on Travis Bickle. People, either love him or hate him, or think he's a piece of shit. They think he's amazing. The dude isn't living in purgatory, okay? That's like the whole messaging of the movie. Like, and furthermore, he's not a fucking racist there, Tarantino, okay? Like, Chachi. The dude was just it's New York in 1970s. 1970s New York was not a friendly time for anybody. And before you say black America this, white America this, no. You live in a fucking dangerous area. You're gonna have to survive. It doesn't matter who you're up against. Somebody's gonna be up who wants you dead, and it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care. But my problem with this movie, my problem with the whole propaganda thing, is the fact that people think they're making something that insults people, and that it's just going to be insulting to them, and we're going to make fun of them because they're just stupid and they can't get it. And it's like, the same thing with Far Cry 5, or Mr. House, or what's his name, Andrew Roy and Fontaine from BioShock, House from Fallout New Vegas, or you know that was supposed to make fun of it. And people accepted it. I mean, for fuck's sakes, for Far Cry 5, half the time I was playing that game, I was thinking to myself, looking at our main cast of characters who were fighting against Joseph Seed and the Seed family, I was thinking to myself, my God, some of them represent the 7 deadly sins. If you replay that game, look at some of the characters in that game, they are pretty much the 7 deadly sins in that game. But what makes me laugh, though, absolutely laugh, though, it's when, when you make propaganda, when you make something that insults the other guys, but when you do them so well that people actually like the villains of the movie. It's like, hell, why do you think people love Magneto? Why do you think people like the Joker? Why do you think people like these anti-heroes who just don't care about society or see what's going on? It's because, they have a point. When you make a point for a character, and before you say anything, I know people are going to add Red Skull into that. Well, the Red Skull's a Nazi asshole. And they basically, and this is the thing I get annoyed with the fucking left, and I kind of understand what they do here. They love labeling people that they're against as fascists. As far right to the Mr. Mustache Man, the Italian Curly, and the Japanese Emperor. I don't know his fucking name. But that's the point of it. It's getting so fucking annoying that they want to label everybody fascist, and I think this is the issue I see here. It's that you are creating your own, monster here. You're creating your own bad guy here, so you can fight something that you want your kind of I struggled and fighted the good fight. Everybody wants to fight the good fight, but fighting the good fight doesn't mean screaming at fucking people you disagree with. You gotta listen to their other side and really kind of sit down and think, maybe they're right. You gotta be purple pilled, people, okay? You gotta ingest some purple pills, all right? People talk about red pills, blue pills, black pills, white pills, orange pills, blue, all color pills. Why don't we just eat the purple pill for a second here, okay? And just really look and go, shit. Maybe the left have a point. Maybe the right have a point. Maybe the right does have a point here. And I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so fucking tired of this nonsense. I'm just, either you're damned or you do, damned if you don't. And you know what, something I gotta say? Enough is enough of the fucking propaganda bullshit. You want to label all men as bad, but yet you want them to do things. You're okay with men, again, I'm going off topic here, but I'm just so tired of the Barbie movie. I'm not surprised that this movie kind of is failing, because I've seen this plot before. not seen it in a movie, but heard a synopsis of a movie that was going to be made with Jim Carrey and Ben Stiller, no less. That has the same kind of principle that Barbie Land did, where it's a matriarchy, where the women run things and the men are second-class citizens used as sperm donors and slave labor or whatever. And Ben Stiller and Jim Carrey play these two escapees looking for a mantopia. So, yeah, I'm like thinking to myself, I've seen this plot before, and honestly, they stole that plot. They basically looked at that idea and said, fuck it, let's use it for Barbie. And honestly, I'm just so tired of just this kind of man-bashing movie where it's like, it's making, it's just driving me fucking nuts. Why are we and here's the problem. We've let these people, and I know people out there want to start blaming the artists and these liberals and all this. It's like, yo, there's also conservatives in Hollywood. There's also conservative storytellers out there who don't really care for this fucking nonsense. The problem is that you have some, minus BlackRock and their EGS nonsense, ESG nonsense, screaming about, you need more diverse characters, we need more diversity and more diverse. How about just well-written motherfucking characters? How about just more of that? You go and fucking, I know I'm going on a tangent, I'm not making any sense, and I'm kind of losing the point here, but I'm just so tired of just hearing about the Barbie movie, and, Ken's our guy, and, the patriarchy and the matriarchy, and how about we don't do any kind of archery anymore, or archery anymore? How about we just find equality in that sense? Why don't we just choose the best fucking leaders? The most capable individuals. I think that's like what the Barbie movie should have been about. Barbie coming to the real world and kind of telling women, hey, it's okay to be a woman. Sometimes it's not easy, but sometimes it's not hard. Hey, maybe just finding your own Barbie in here is what matters. You are special. That's what the whole point of Barbie was supposed to be about. And honestly, I should have been more cautious about this. Like, they changed out Amy Schumer for, Margot Robbie, which is the best, bullet dodge, but there were so many other bullets that got hit too. And I'm just so fucking done with this nonsense. I really am done with this nonsense of East Coast and West Coast writers kind of being antagonistic of writers. Yeah, you don't like that? We're going to put more gay characters and more diversity. No, because as people who like art, like me and everybody else, it's creating bad writing. It's like you're just you're destroying the city to get back at somebody. You are literally cutting off not just your nose, but the entire face, just out of spite for somebody else's face. Like, guys, it's like enough's enough. Write just a decent story. I know I'm freaking out about Barbie and all this shit, but it's like I've had enough. Fuck Barbie. I was hoping it was gonna be good, because you want to know why? Because like the Mario Brothers movie, because I didn't see any wokeness in that. Thank God I didn't see any goddamn fucking wokeness. I know people want to talk about Princess Peach being a boss girl, and how she's a Mary Sue, and Mario's treated as a lesser, but that's not the point of the movie. Like, if you really look at that movie, like, especially the beginning scene where they're trying to get to their first job, he knows how to do the obstacle course. He's already know how to do the obstacle course thing. It's just the fact that when he does it in the Mushroom Kingdom, it's a little extreme. Like, you're dealing with killer plants, bullets, fire. If you've ever played Mario Brothers, you're dealing with a lot of weird ass things in that game. But it's also kind of like it twists itself a little bit. Like, Princess Peach fails. Everything doesn't work out perfectly the way she plans. Mario is kind of it kind of reminds me of the Fifth Element. Like, you have this supremely powerful female character, but you have this rugged blue-collared hero, kind of stumbling along and thinking on his feet and trying to do the best he can with what he's got. And most of the time, Mario's the one getting beat up and kind of thrown into the arena, while Princess Peach is kind of sitting on the side. Like, yes, if Princess Peach was capable, why isn't she doing this? Why isn't she battling, Donkey Kong? Because Princess Peach, in my mind, Princess Peach is the princess because she's a, ruler. And Mario is a good, upstanding guy. And what that movie tells you is that sometimes, yes, just because you're perfect and, for a girl, if you are, perfect, at what you do and you're wonderful and amazing, sometimes you're going to fail in life. And sometimes you got to accept failure and kind of work around it. Like at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, she has to, she's to save her kingdom, she's going to have to marry Bowser, supposedly. And Mario has to learn that, never to give up. And that's the whole point of Mario, to never give up. Yes, you're going to fail, you're going to fall, you're going to stumble, but yet you cannot give up. You got to keep going. That movie had die-hard energy. And you know what I got to admit, though, I love about Princess Peach in that movie, is the fact that she still retains her title, the fact that she wears a pink dress in the movie. That's what Barbie should have been in that movie. Barbie should have been something more extraordinary, something extraordinary in our ordinary world. That's what the movie should have been. Like, she comes in and it's like, oh, let's deconstruct Barbie. Instead of every time they try to deconstruct her, she reconstructs their world, like, view. It's like, oh, Barb, it's untameable to achieve your figure and stuff like that. Well, don't try to achieve that. Like, just be who you are. Like, don't think things are impossible. Like, if you think about Barbie's mythos, like, they had Space Barbie, Cowboy Barbie, Scientist Barbie. They have had so many versions of this character taking on multiple fucking jobs, and you didn't look at that? And the fact that in this world, all the men are named Ken, and all the girls are named Barbie. Like, you really didn't do any research on that? Like, look, I know I'm going to sound really goofy on that, but if you're taking on a franchise and you don't know much about it, I suggest you do some fucking research. But enough about that. By the way, the Mario Brothers movie was absolutely good. Period. I don't give a fuck. That movie was phenomenal. Well made for something that's supposedly made by corporate. It's beautiful, and the fact that Shigeru Miyamoto kind of stepped in and was like, "You take this woke shit out. You have to take this woke shit out now. I'm here to protect my children, all of them, including Donkey." Well, I wish he would have recast Donkey Kong. I hope he does recast Seth Rogen as Donkey, because he's just like his voice. I kind of was hoping he did it. I was having high hopes for Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, which oddly enough turned out to be the worst voice in that group. The best, I have to say, was Jack Black, but the most surprising of them, that really kind of like pulled through and everybody had doubts about, which honestly kind of symbolizes the movie altogether, was Chris Pratt as Mario. And I'm honestly, because when you hear voice actors speak, you know who these guys sound like. You heard Rob Paulsen before, you heard, Jim Cummings before multiple times. You've heard good voice actors before, and you like hearing the voices because you hear the instrument, what they're putting out. You love hearing John DiMaggio, do Bender, but I love his Aquaman. I love hearing his Joker at times. I love hearing his voice. Same thing with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt pulled a good Mario. He did. I honestly was looking at it going, yeah, honestly, if Mario really was from Brooklyn, he would speak like this. And I didn't see Chris Pratt doing the voice. I saw Mario. Like, when you see when you watch a character, any celebrity do a voice, like, in a movie, you go, oh, okay, I know that's Will Arnett. Oh, I know that's, Bradley Cooper doing Rocket. No, actually, no, Bradley Cooper doing Rocket Raccoon. I didn't see Bradley Cooper. I saw Rocket Raccoon. What I mean is that when you hear somebody's voice, you're not seeing the character. You're not seeing the actor. Oh, that's just that voice. You're seeing the character. You're seeing the actor put the voice in there, and being like, oh, I could see this guy having this voice. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. It's like like Rob Paulsen doing Wacko Warner. You can see you don't see Rob Paulsen anymore. You see Wacko. If that makes any sense. Or when he's doing Raphael or Donatello, you see Raphael and Donatello. You don't see Rob Paulsen doing Donatello or Raphael. that makes any sense again. But final thoughts, though, yeah, I'm just tired of Barbie. Like, it's a bad fucking movie with, with reverse messaging in there, which, people were not supposed to like Ken, and now everybody likes Ken. So I just want good movies again. Like, I think if you're creative out there, I say start creating and find people out there who are creative as well. I mean, to quote Razorfist, let's bring in the Iron Age. Let's bring in the Iron Age of new media. Excuse me. Okay, I think I spoke long enough. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye. And remember to stay awesome. Peace.